They were called to do a welfare check after the parents, the mother and the father, and their adult son had not been heard from in over a year. So when they got to the house, they found something they were not prepared for. Quote, 3 severely decomposing bodies. So they were like, so is this a murder? Is this a murder-suicide? Like, you can't say all 3 just sat there and keeled over of a heart attack at the same time. So what in the world is going on here? During the investigations, officials came to the conclusion that the bodies had been there for about 12 to 16 months. Can you imagine the smell and the decomposition? Ugh. They also came to a conclusion that there were, quote, some indications this was a domestic-related incident. So they started researching it as if it was a murder-suicide. When police opened the trunk, they did verify that human remains were within the trunk. They took these remains away for investigation, and they determined that the victim was a 19-year-old male, but they had no idea who it was or who could have done this to them. During the investigation, and as police uncovered more and more, they uncovered who the victim was, and they found out that the victim did have a girlfriend. So they went to talk to the girlfriend, and this led them all the way back to the girlfriend's father with an interesting story. 60-year-old John Eisenman, who was the girl's father, had learned that in October of 2020, his daughter, who was a juvenile at the time, had been sex trafficked in the Seattle area and had, quote, obtained information that her boyfriend was the one who sex trafficked her. John pulled a take-in move. You don't know the set of skills I have, but I will find you. You know the movie Take. In January of 2024, Devin and Tanya White were both arrested and charged with negligent child abuse after they got a call from the Florida DCF, which is the Department of Children and Families, of possible child neglect related to environmental hazards. This happened in Alturas, Florida. In this house that was reported for environmental hazards, lambs, there were 2 children living there. One was 7 years old and one was just 7 months old. There were also 5 dogs at the residence, and 4 of them were kept inside. The funny thing is, DCF called on Tanya and Devin White, and Tanya was an employee of the DCF for 13 years.